Hey there, AfterBuzzers. You're watching the AfterBuzz TV After Show for Law & Order Special Victims Unit, Season 18, Episode 1, Terrorized. Join us as we break down the episode and give our thoughts and predictions. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ooh, yeah. It has been far too long since we were in the studio together hearing these sweet jams come on, right?
Oh, hey, reunited.
I know. All right, guys. As always, I am Lauren Salon here at AfterBuzz TV, joined by the lovely Isabel Du. How's it going?
Good. You guys can check me out everywhere on the internet at isabel.du, and I'm so excited to talk about this episode.
I know.
So much to say.
We've been waiting to get back in here and talk SVU. Yeah, we're so pumped. You guys can find me everywhere online at Lauren Salon. And before we dive into everything, make sure you guys are subscribed to us on YouTube, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. You can also find all of our weekly after shows on iTunes as well. So rate, comment, subscribe, you name it. And before we dive into things, you guys, as you know, if you've been here before, or if you're new, we'll let you know too, we talk about some sensitive stuff here on the after show because, as you know, SVU deals with a lot of sensitive subjects. So we just want to let you know if there are some sensitivities, because we may make jokes about things. You know, we're dealing with tough stuff here, so we're letting you know that tough stuff is coming. So earmuffs, sensitivity filters, you name it, because we let it.
It's our way of coping.
Yes, dealing with sometimes tough situations. You lighten them up, and it's TV also.
And should I tell the hotline?
Yeah.
And so, and if anyone out there who can possibly relate to some of the things that are going on during the show, these are, again, very sensitive issues. You can actually contact the hotline 1-800-656-HOPE for the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. Again, that's 1-800-656-HOPE.
Awesome. Okay, so let's back it up to kind of where we left off last season, which was really, really heavy.
That was a first. That was a Law & Order SVU
It
first.
was intense, you guys. So obviously we are referring to Baby Dodd's dying, his departure, and yeah, that was a tough one. And then Liv and Tucker went to Paris, and there was some uncertainty there with what was going to happen, because
they kind of alluded to a family wedding thing.
Yes, and I think we know, all of us, like hardcore SVU peeps, we know that they're not going anywhere. Please don't go anywhere, and Liv's not leaving. She better not leave. But we've been going for like almost as old as we are. So so it's like, okay, at some point people move on, things change, and so
I think they're changing.
Yeah.
I think this is a season where it's changing, and it's changing hard.
Yeah, so there was some uncertainty with what might be going on, and they're leaving to Paris, and the dramatic death and the squad, like you never know what's going to happen. But they came back. So great. It was just a little vacation. No big deal. And so we start off this episode with Liv needing to go check on an abandoned little boy at the park.
Right.
And I found it a little interesting that she brought Noah with her to do this.
I think it's funny that you brought that up, because I did see certain people bring up that feedback, because they're like, well, why would you bring your child to work? And I think, in her defense, it's more like, oh, it's a lost child. We weren't going to expect the lost child to have a gun in her face.
Right.
And I think she was even trying to have Noah as a way to relate to the
kid. Y'all would appreciate that.
Yeah, she would. It was more just like, hey, look, I'm a mom. I've got a kid. Maybe this kid can bond with you, but clearly.
Yeah, well, and in Liv's defense, I mean, you're not expecting anything like that to happen, so
no.
you wouldn't go there. Like you're saying, it would be okay for her to just go check on this kid and see what the situation is.
It was a great opener.
Yes.
It was a fantastic opener.
But I knew the whole time watching these, watching all the previews and everything, you're like, oh, this is going to be one of those tricks. Nothing's going to happen. And that situation is going to last all of 3 minutes.
True.
And then we're going to be fine. No one's going to get shot. Like, let's be real here.
And we won't see those people again, which is kind of true because we never
Yeah,
really
we didn't
saw
even
the kid.
Yeah, we didn't see him at all.
Yeah.
And then, okay, can we talk about the poor aunt who died, apparently? She got hit by a bike, right? A bicycle.
Yes. And okay, if I can remember clearly, she did a whole like 360
It was like
in
a
the air.
phew
Yeah.
thing,
Like,
in case you didn't.
legs scissored up in the air and then collapsed into
It was wild.
That was a freak accident.
Yes, and guys who are all in the chat, sorry, I was having some connectivity issues, so we got the chat up, and there are a lot of people in here. We have missed you guys.
Yay,
oh my goodness!
thanks for joining.
Jasmine, Hanan, Ariadne, Steve, Fina, Anne Marie, Renji, lots of people. So
Yay,
keep
familiar
chatting.
names,
We
too.
love you guys, and we have missed you guys. So yeah, that bike situation. I mean, later when we find out she didn't make it, I almost thought Liv was like using that as interrogation tactic or something like, she didn't make it. Now, how do you feel? Tell me the truth,
I thought the death was a bit irrelevant to a lot of things. Like, it was so, it felt so independent of the entire episode. Like, that could have just, I forgot about her until they brought it up later.
I know, but the acrobatics of it. Props for the stunt acting.
Oh, totally.
I love that part.
I think the only reason why they brought her into this episode is because it's parallel to the actual situation of the San Bernardino shooting. And then also they needed to explain, who's the child with now?
Right.
Who's watching over the kid now?
Right.
To dramatize that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So speaking of, this kid, he's got a loaded gun, 4 years old, looks surprisingly like serious once he picks that thing up, like not just playing around,
He knows
sort
the
of
aim.
deal.
He does this whole winking eye thing.
I know, like good little baby actor. and so they go, they find a note, like a goodbye note from the mother. They go to the address where the gun is registered to, and the people have clearly fled the scene, and they find a closet full of guns and explosives, like with with Arabic writing. So people are clearly planning something.
Oh, yeah.
Is going to go down.
Definitely
here.
up to no good.
Oh, yes.
That is a bad room.
Questionable people. And they discovered, so the people that we're dealing with are Luca and Anna. And Luca is who we believe is the father of the child. He's an American citizen. Anna is a legal immigrant. They have no terrorist ties, like nothing fishy.
Right.
But it becomes apparent that they're planning some sort of mass casualty situation. And they then get linked to Armin, Luca's brother. He's not helping, and Carisi calls, so they have his phone and call his brother right there. Like, that was kind of stupid.
Why?
Right?
Why would you do that? Isn't that against protocol? I
I would think so.
it was very irresponsible of him as both
He's like, hey, this is Carisi. Who is this? Stop what you're doing. Don't do the attack. You're like, Carisi, there's probably a smoother way to do that, bro.
I thought it was so irresponsible of him as both a cop and as somebody who just completed his bar exam.
Right? He's like,
what are you? It was such an amateur move. It felt so amateur, and it felt pointless. Yeah.
Well, it was just to get the whole, I don't know, to make chaos. It was silly.
Yeah.
It was just silly. And though I do like Carisi's new hairstyle.
Oh, I am right there with you, girl.
Carisi, you're looking kind of good. Hey.
Very GQ.
I know, very fresh, very current. It's very trendy.
Up to date.
But yeah, so the phone fiasco happens. They find the phone ditched in a dumpster, so the brother's phone, and we run into this issue with the phone being locked, which is, a clear parallel with the San Bernardino case that happened. What was that, last year?
Last December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that case, we had a husband-wife shooting situation in San Bernardino, which is not very far from Los Angeles, and, terrorist ties. The iPhone was locked, and there was this whole thing about getting Apple to unlock it for them, and they pretty much said,
No,
sorry.
They denied the FBI any rights to it because they are saying, well, if we unlock this one, then we have to create the software will unlock everything.
And I mean, first of all, though, like they have the ability.
Right. I mean,
I get it
from
phone.
both point of views.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not
Yeah.
saying what they did was right or wrong, but
Totally.
it's like, oh, well, if we create it, then like
Right.
everyone's going to lock all phones forever, all the time. No, you know what? Come on, you guys. Apple, you know how to unlock any phone if you
Yeah.
need to.
It's true. With any technology, actually, you know, this is so random and Yael's going to kill me for going a little off topic, but
It's okay, Yell. We're here and you're not. Just kidding. And we miss you. We miss Yell and Jesse.
I know. We didn't even, oh my gosh. Just so you guys know, they will be back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I
be
mean,
back, don't
they'll
worry.
be back. They just
Hope you guys are happy
just
with
had
us.
other things to do tonight, and we really miss them, but you've got us here.
Yes. So we'll be the good substitutes. But yeah, so actually there are these Chinese hackers that figured out how to hack Tesla cars from 12 miles away.
What?
Yeah.
12 miles
From
away?
12, they did it remotely. Isn't that
And doesn't Tesla has like an autopilot drive situation? Could
yeah.
they drive them to themselves? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna look this up later. Yeah, that was a tangent, but that is crazy.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, can't the FBI? I mean, it's the FBI. Don't they know how have like some freaky hackers who can like
That's-
hack
you know,
something in 5 minutes too?
Totally. I
Like,
was
why did they
thinking that
need
too.
Apple?
Uh-huh. It was so silly.
And how many Ford number combinations are there?
Well, and my other thing is this. They made such a big hoopla about, oh, they're not letting, you guys aren't helping us with getting this phone like hacked and everything. And now that they actually was able to contract a third party to do it for them who has remained anonymous, nothing has been said about what was found on the phone or if there was anything on the phone. They just stayed quiet. I wonder if like maybe there really was nothing on it. And they're just like, well, let's not bring it up again and hope nobody noticed that.
Steve says that you gave me an idea. I'm not going to try and hack a Tesla car. That is the second car in my list of cars I'm going to buy. But like in like dream car situation, that's number 2 right now.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's pretty up there.
Yeah, no, it is. So
number
a couple
1?
years. Oh, it's my Camaro.
Oh.
Soon. Anyway, now we're super off
Super
topic.
tangent.
Sorry, Yell. Anyway, so we've got the phone situation. They're unable to unlock it, and they end up, tracking down Anna and Luca, and they are like in not a flash mob type deal, but they're watching street performance, which I
Right.
cannot imagine was the original intent for what they were going to bomb or
I
shoot.
completely agree. It felt so, because how could you figure out this is when the street performers would perform? And it was it was a
Yeah,
smaller
and like
crowd.
12 people, like
Yeah.
at some rant, like that isn't a high impact event,
Right.
You know,
But you know what? It was
or
only,
anything that symbolic.
It was only by chance though, just because that one cop. There was that cop within that
Right.
crowd discovered. He saw him with
Yes,
the gun.
but weren't they there? I mean, it's not like they were just
won't-
like stopping through, like, oh, on the way to the bombing, let's watch these dancers.
Yeah,
for
I
a
guess
few
we'll
minutes.
never really know since he's dead, so we
Yeah.
couldn't really get a real confession from him what he was planning on doing. But that was
Right.
my thing. I thought, oh, maybe it was just an impromptu.
Things got sidetracked, and they're like, okay, we can't go through with the original plan because the cops are onto us. Let's just shoot them up here.
Yeah, maybe.
Improv, I guess. I liked the sequence with that undercover cop or off-duty police officer.
Oh yeah, I wish there was more involvement with him,
Yeah.
or he stayed alive for
Well,
it.
and he was sharp with the situation because
Yes.
he didn't get notified in any way,
Right.
that was going down. He was just there
I think he really was just there to enjoy the street
and
performers.
sees like the little corner of the gun and
Yeah.
stuff. And I thought the first time I saw that happen, I thought he got shot in the face.
oh,
I was like so
Oh, my.
caught off guard.
yeah,
No, but then I, was like, whoa, that was a good.
yeah.
good
Everything happened
scene.
so quickly.
Yeah, it was quick and yeah, that was good. So, and thankfully, I mean, that police officer, he was in critical condition, so he wasn't killed. Which was
But I kind of
good
wish
to
they
know.
brought him back in some.
The cop who got hurt.
Or maybe there wasn't anything else to bring up.
I think he got brought up in the sense of him being in critical condition. Dodds kind of blames Liv for that because Dodds is like,
What a moment.
right?
What
Yeah.
a
So
moment.
we'll jump to that
Yeah.
in a moment. So basically, that shooting happens. Luca is killed. They get Anna, who's like, don't shoot, whatever, and they, she gets in custody. Calhoun is defending her, so is her lawyer, and she is charged with murder, attempted murder, all this stuff, you know, as a terrorist, everything. And she claims that she has been being repeatedly raped by her fiance, Luca, and his brother, Armin, and shows them all the wounds and the bruises and everything. Did you believe her initially?
I did.
Yeah. I thought the actress did a great job, and it was very, you know, I for sure did too, but then you're like, well, that's convenient. You know, it could be part of the plot.
True.
It's like, it takes,
I mean, that's why I'd make a terrible cop, because I think I'd empathize too much, and I wouldn't know. I would worry people would play on my emotions, and I definitely felt there was a moment of her. You know, there were moments when I wasn't sure, but I felt like her performance was pretty real. It seems like, I mean, even when she said, you know, they filmed and that's why I couldn't, she seemed like she wasn't really aware of anything.
Sorry, cut you off.
No. I'm good.
But that type of situation, like, I agree with, I kind of am on the, like, Barbara Dodd's side, because even though it was under duress and all this stuff, and she, you know, she was still participant in it, so it's not like she gets off the hook for being involved in these things, but it's like taking it from, like, murder to manslaughter type thing, you know?
I guess it would be like, I think maybe, see, this is where it gets kind of a bit of a jam, because let's say she really wasn't aware of what was going on. Like, this is like, whoa, I had no idea he was going to do this shooting. I was just along for the ride. Like, he was dragging me around. Then what if she was technically a hostage?
Yeah.
Right? If she truly was a victim, then really she's a hostage and she's being punished for it.
It's tricky.
But then at the same time, like, at her, was that apartment, like, their shared apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
But the brother was paying the rent, so it's very, like, controlling.
So wouldn't she be aware of that
situation.
gun room?
I'm sure.
Was
but
that
feeling like she's not, but she's so, like, held captive there and stuff, and she has her son that, you know, even if she knows of what's going on, feared for her safety and her son's safety. WTF, Lauren. Oh, what did I say?
Oh, does someone not agree with what you said?
I don't know. But
it's okay. I mean, that's how.
Hey, I'm fine.
I, you know, when Olivia changed her mind, though,
Yeah.
I changed my mind too, because I feel like Olivia has very good human insight, and she is always. This is where I was a little. I mean, I don't know if I'm. So this is the first episode that we have the new showrunner, Rick.
Oh yes.
Rick Aid, is that how you say his name? So he was from the Law and Order series. And I felt this episode was very Law and Order, no SVU. And I was kind of waiting. I'm like, where does the SVU part come to play?
Well, and it was interesting because there was the SVU part. I mean, it kicked it off with the child Ali as the SVU kind of kicker, why they came in to play in general. And then obviously with the rape situation, that's very SVU. But then it was weird that SVU was leading the terrorist case. Like, it was
right.
It made sense that Liv pursued, like, against Dodd's orders, pursued the rape case. Even though it was so, like, intertwined, because she pursued it in support of the other side, but that was more on topic for what she should be going after.
Yes.
But it was weird for the SVU team to be pursuing a...
I wasn't sure how realistic that is.
Yeah.
I'm not really
I don't know if
I'm
it's
not
realistic. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not.
It wouldn't seem like they would stay on, like, they would pass it off to someone
Did you
else.
notice their office, though? Like, how different it kind of looks? Like, they have a sign back there. It said, like, Manhattan's, like, unit or something like that. They changed their office. They actually, like, had a sign that said Manhattan Police Department. I can't remember. I should have rewinded and looked at it. I thought that was interesting that they put that up there, and I was wondering if that was more to let us know that it was more encompassing other cases, and that it's okay, that it's not.
I don't know.
It's not as on track.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I caught it like twice. It's on the back of the office. It's like in huge letters.
I'll have to take a peek at that. So back to, you know, Barbara Dodd's Liv dynamic. Barbara accuses Liv of kind of falling for the defense, but in Liv's defense, like that's her job.
Yeah,
is
that's her
to figure out these
department.
situations. She knows what to look for. She knows these types of things. So she like is very much doing her job. And Dodds calls her out about doing her job too much and how it's causing problems and blah blah blah, and then snaps on her and says that doing her job caused other Dodds to die.
Yeah, to lose.
Basically.
It costs me my son's life or something. And man, just his facial expression, you could see how it went from angry and resentment to almost like somewhat apologetic, or like wishes.
Well, he I think caught himself
Yeah.
as having said that and was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. But I mean, I think he had actually every right to say that to Liv. I mean, that's what's inside of you, and that's how you feel. And I understand that. I mean, you're a person too.
Yeah.
You can't just put on this Dodds face all the time, even though he tries really hard. And I like seeing him show this human side because, you know, it's more relatable.
Yeah.
And can I just say that what I wish for these new episodes is, because I was watching old episodes of Law and Order, and we used to have BD Wong, which was our like.
I love him.
I love him. I miss him so much. He was our in-house like psychologist.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I miss this.
We don't have
one.
no.
And we used to have BD Wong because he would interrogate them as well, or not interrogate them, but sit in after interrogation, prior to the interrogation, and try to figure out what this person's psyche is. And he would give their feedback or his analysis or his results. And
we don't have anyone like that anymore.
No
Why?
way.
That would be
Wouldn't that have been a great, like, because I would have wanted to interview her
yes.
as like a doctor, like seeing where her head's at, and we were missing some sort of figure of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, we having some sort of psychiatrist or psychologist perspective would be really awesome to have, because I feel like it is so heavily weighted on the team all the time. And we don't go outside of the team very much.
No, not anymore. And I like it's so on the team, and then even just like you look at IAB, yeah, and then you look at all these other cop related departments, but no one in the, I mean, sometimes you have the MD, but
right,
we want the psychologist.
Yeah, because that's what we're dealing with, these tricky situations. I did find it interesting that they referenced San Bernardino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, wait, this is what this episode is exactly about.
Trippy.
Yeah. Weird. How do you know? So meta of them.
I know.
Yeah, so I like that little call out there.
I felt like.
Right?
It's so weird.
Yeah. And so the kind of conclusion in the station, they aren't going to pursue the rape claim. Dodds tells Liv to don't investigate the rape claim or the rape investigation until the trial's over. She says, F that, I'm gonna do it because that's a factor, which it very much is. And our DNA comes back, and Armin is Ali's father. So we've got a clear like facts supporting what Anna has been saying, that both of them have been raping her. And of course, like he's such a jerk.
He's a dog. What I thought was interesting was how he denied it first, and he was so calm and cool about it, like very a normal person.
Right.
Calm about it. And then when he realized, like, oh, then he got all nasty.
Yeah.
Like really nasty. I'm like, oh, you weren't even trying to continue your good guy face.
He was like, no, this is my brother's woman.
Yeah,
all that
like,
stuff.
She's a great person. And then all of a sudden, she's a little harlot. And, you're like, whoa.
Tramp. He used the word tramp. It's like, geez, you jerk. And I thought that we might have some, because we never saw any of like the video stuff.
I thought they were going to go that route.
I thought they might show some of that. I thought that
agree.
might come out somewhere. Would you guys, the chat is they're just talking away here. I love it. I'm not going to interrupt. But yeah, I thought we might see some of the footage from that to kind of further prove.
Or maybe not even footage, but even just open that Pandora's box. Because, usually in the SVU episodes, if they do the whole like ripped from the headlines episodes, they kind of take it in a direction of where it didn't happen in real life so we can explore like what could have happened.
Right.
And what could have happened is that the manufacturer decided to agree to unlock the phone, right? But this didn't really happen. It felt kind of a dead end. And I felt like Barbara got all of a sudden really interested in pursuing that. And then it just kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
That nothing came of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, Doreen in Ariadne, we get the sarcasm there, but Doreen says that she loved when Benson stared down Armin. Yes, I love that when he's like,
yes.
oh, well, she's a tramp, no one's gonna believe her, blah, 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 like all that stuff. And she's like, well, I do, and she does, and that's enough, and I'm gonna take you down. I'm like, booyah, Liv, yes. Yeah, Liv kicks ass.
She does.
And I think it was very interesting that they chose to kick off the season with an episode like this, like starting off with some internal tensions.
Yeah.
I mean, we ended very heavy.
Very much so.
You know, it's kind of a coming off of that for sure. But yeah, pitting Liv against the rest of the team, which maybe based on what you were saying with some changes coming, like, is this a rift? What do you guys think? I don't want to even think about Liv possibly leaving.
Yeah. Like, what are you guys trying to tell us here?
But anyway, and I think Anne-Marie, to what you're saying, Anne-Marie and Ariadne, who are in the chat, saying that, you know, every single time rape is involved, the victim is a slut or a tramp. And, you know, it's a very specific mentality. The victim is a whore. It makes me want to kick my TV. Agreed. And that, I mean, that is so the go-to defense or argument
really
from the perpetrators.
It's
always,
so tired.
oh, well, she wanted it or whatever it might be. But yeah, and I think that SVU does a very good job of breaking that down, and I don't, maybe helping to.
They find multiple ways of responding to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, because that is the go-to every single time. And somehow SVU has lasted this long and has found multiple ways, a million ways, to respond to it every time.
Yes.
I give them props for that.
Oh, definitely. And I think with rape in general being more on the, social, like, conversation, I guess, as of late, there have been a lot of really horrible things happening, and it's become a much bigger topic of conversation, I think, on the national level.
Right.
That SVU, and I think we've read, obviously with what they're dealing with, but they have a role in being able to kind of frame how those discussions happen, and so it's interesting, to see how they deal with it every time. And yes, Yell is not here. We will tell Yell that you missed her. We miss her too. We're so excited to bring the gang all back together, and Yell and Jesse are not here. I know.
We don't have the same memory, but we're still here.
I know. I can't be like, oh, remember that episode 1,000 years ago where that one person was also in it and he was in this one too?
Yeah.
Yep.
At the 34th second timestamp.
Yeah, we can't do that, but hopefully we provide other things. So the actor that plays Armin, he was in another SVU episode where the rich girl pretended to be homeless. Dang it, Fina.
Wow.
See, if Yell were here, she would know the answer. I'm sorry, we're failing you on that one. We'll figure it out, though.
You know what? We like the help, though. We appreciate that. That's great.
If you guys know the answer, help Fina out. Let's figure that one out.
Oh, interesting.
So Liv ends up kind of siding with the defense on the other side, providing testimony, which I think was a great way to be able to get involved and do the right thing, while also doing her job, even though it made things a little tricky for Barba and Dodds, like, whatever,
Well, I thought I changed my mind how I felt about Anna, because I believed her up until the very end, when she seemed she didn't really resist the because they said she would 20 to life, right? As opposed to max. Yeah. Right? Is that what they said?
I think so.
I think, and she seemed so cool about it. Like, she didn't fight it.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling there, I pretty much believed her the whole, I think my only doubt would have been was in the very beginning of like, oh yeah, nice try. You were just like, forced to go along with
Yeah.
it, sort of thing. But at the end there, I wasn't questioning it.
I mean, I'm
anymore.
more likely to still believe her. I'm
Yeah.
more on that end, but then it was a little odd to me that she didn't say like I'm innocent, I guess. I don't know.
She must. I feel like it would have been from the perspective that she assumed she would get the worst possible
see.
situation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
with
that's
being
true.
involved in something like that, not really having anyone who supports you, like no family there, like pretty much
Right.
everyone against her, and the situation looking really bad. That maybe that was a relief. There would be my only
Yeah.
way I would take it.
True.
But Hanan says because she kept the possibility of parole, and she wanted her son to be safe. Doreen, like you said, that was the main
right.
focus was Ali. So we kind of conclude again with the phone unlocking situation, and that's, you know, they want to get court access for the phone, and I thought that overall I thought that this episode was, I think we talked about this before we went on air, that the first half was very exciting. The second half kind of slowed down a little bit,
slowed
but I
down a
thought
lot.
it was still a good,
It's still a good
exciting
episode,
episode for sure.
but I think this episode would have been better sandwiched in the middle of the season. I think that would have been good, rather being the season premiere.
Yeah.
Because it became a little underwhelming. Because when I think about the first season, the first episode premiere for the last season, with the whole Yates situation, that was so.
That was the premiere?
That was the premiere, and that was so like, whoa, great start! Like, I can't. Oh my gosh, I can't even handle myself. I feel so stressed out. This one just felt more like, I don't know. It wasn't as satisfying as I was hoping for it to be.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't as satisfying as I was hoping.
Well, maybe next week. Next week looks like
Next
it'll
week,
be
I think, should have been the premiere.
interesting. Really? I don't know.
Anyway, they're modeling after making a murder.
Are they? Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Okay. People want us to talk about Tuxin. Kelsey Forever really wants us to talk about Tuxin.
Okay.
So let's talk about Tuxin. So in the beginning, we learned that he is in a new squad, the Conviction Integrity Unit, which is so made up. Those are such silly words. And I take that to mean now that there's no conflict of interest really with their relationship.
Right.
Like, he is transferred. He's happy about his new job. Great. We can still date. Okay, cool. You know?
I guess, but I miss the whole struggle.
Yeah, forbidden love.
I love it. I miss it. I bring it back.
Tuxin is Benson and Tucker. You know, their celeb couple name.
Yeah.
And I think they're so cute together.
so
Like, they're so,
cute.
like, straight-laced and, like,
I love how they're wearing
stoic all the time.
their suits in the park.
Yeah. I mean, you assume that they just got off work and that's where they're meeting
Sure.
up. They have no time, you know, so they go
Sure.
straight there and hang out as their cute little family. And Tuxin is Olivia's lover. No, Tuxin is Benson plus Tucker. Oh, some people are very paralyzed. Zacoby does not like the Tuxin situation. Most people love it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Romeo and Juliet feels, I know, the forbiddenness.
What if we had a love triangle between Tuxin and then Dodds and Olivia?
No.
Yes.
No.
No, you're right.
That would be so weird.
You're right. Then it would stray way too
He's like,
far.
the reason I'm such a jerk to you is because I actually have a big fat crush on you. No.
Well,
No.
that's what happened to Tucker.
Well, that is true. But but there was always that, like, heat between them. Like, behind 25 walls, it was like, you could tell there was a little glimmer.
But there was that one
going
time
on.
that it looked like Dodds and Olivia went out on a date. It's the episode where, like, something happened, then they had to go to a convenience store. There was, like, shooting there. So it seems like they just came out of a date.
No. Yeah. People do not want the Tuxin. I know, Steve. A big rock on her hand coming back from Paris. Like, right. Why not? Why not? That would have been nice. Maybe I hope that'll happen at some point, though. I mean, I think they're set. Like, they're going to be together. I don't see them breaking up. They're, like, good to go.
I think it would just be too hard to balance both personal lives and all these SVU cases. Then you're starting to really stray away from what made the show the show.
If they get engaged? Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be, like, all of 1 minute. And then they wouldn't ever really deal
Never
with it
bring
again.
it up again?
Yeah, like, it'd just be like, yeah, duh, I'm engaged, you know? Or maybe the finale is a wedding.
You know,
that would be so bizarre.
I think, so I was, actually, when I was watching the episode, when I saw Amanda and so Rollins and Carisi, there was a split second I was thinking, oh my gosh, are they trying to make them the new Olivia and Stabler? Because there were moments I felt that way.
Yeah.
And I miss that dynamic, first of all. I miss, like, having that guy-girl dynamic. And I also miss having a muscle within the squad.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think Finn maybe is kind of that, but he's like so OG that...
No, he's not. He's more the comic relief. Like,
yeah, well, he's the comic relief, but he also, like, broke that door down with his freaking shoulder.
True. Like, I kind of sometimes...
Which is like, how... Okay, I'm sorry. It's not easy to break a door down with your body. Not that I've tried ever, but... yeah, he's just like, pow.
We need somebody like that.
Ish down, yeah. So... I didn't. Yeah,
you know, like how okay, this is like in the interrogations. Sometimes I do want a little roughing up that person.
Yeah, like a little Amaro to come back.
Yeah, Amaro, Stabler, that aggressiveness.
Yeah,
it's wrong, but
I agree.
I kind of want to see it a little bit.
Because Carisi is a little too puppy dog still.
Yeah,
he will always be, and that's one of the reasons why we love him so much. But this was the second episode that. Sorry, I very much was like, what? The second episode, Olivia cried in 18 years. Is that true, Kelsey?
I don't think so. There's no way.
No, because she's cried when she's been, like, captured and other no, I feel like she has to have cried before.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, let's talk about that moment at the end when they're at the park and... she is crying and he's like, oh, what's wrong, sort of thing. And she's like, oh, I'm so happy, you know, and and she's like, I'm afraid, I'm just scared it won't last, like that sort of thing. I was like,
is that foreshadowing?
No, it's not.
Hello, we could have used the sound there.
I know. Those are dramatic zingers.
I think that's foreshadowing.
Oh, no. Come on.
No.
I don't know.
Are we in denial?
I don't know.
That's fine.
Maybe.
We'll see.
But, okay, so I think we're probably pretty good with this episode, yes?
Yeah.
So do we want to talk any more about the San Bernardino case and the phone situation?
I really didn't have much to add to it. I did find that they, as of like September 9th of this year, they did find some extra facts about it. And this one I thought was interesting. They found out... So if you guys aren't aware of the San Bernardino shoot, that happened December 2nd, 2015, where you had a couple, one who was actually American born, but of Pakistani descent, and his wife, who was, she was actually a permanent resident here. And they had a 6-month-old girl who was with the wife's mom. And so they shot up the public Department of Health in San Bernardino during their Christmas party. And they found out that at that public Department of Health, the victims and witnesses actually has had active shooter training in the exact room that shooting took place. So when that shooting happened at 10:52 a.m., they actually thought it was training exercise. They didn't realize that was a real deal. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to be able to talk about predictions, actually.
Yeah, let's do the predictions.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, so next week's episode is, I'm blanking on the actor's name right now, but the kid from E.T., right? It's him grown up?
Is that?
Yeah.
No way. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I should know what his name is. But anyway, yeah, Elliot Henry Thomas is the actor's name. As an adult, of course. I'm pretty sure that's... I'm pretty sure that's him.
His casting audition, by the way, for E.T. is amazing.
Yes. No, but in the next episode, I think he is in SVU, but I could totally be wrong. But anyway, we've got someone who was wrongly accused of rape who is coming, he's getting out of jail. Joe Biden guest stars. Like, what? That's so random. So it's very interesting. But the teaser was so short.
It was so short. But I think it provided enough for us to kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Well, yeah, and you're like, the vice president's on SVU. Like,
so chill.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, why not? I actually found out so Olivia, Mariska and Joe Biden, they actually work together a lot to raise awareness around rape and domestic violence with her foundation, with her Joyful Heart Foundation. So she actually had all these words for him. She said that he's actually her hero. Like, she has deep admiration for him.
How cool.
Mm-hmm. She's like,
Neat.
so she was so happy and honored to have him on the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know.
I mean, yeah, that's so... I was like, wait, Joe Biden's going in on
I
this?
bet he's just going to be Joe Biden in the episode.
Yes, probably. Because it's probably some sort of pardon situation. Or maybe, And so someone has to step in like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think so.
You know what? I can see that.
Yeah. But you said that it's about making a murderer. That is based
They're
off
modeling
of them.
it after that.
Oh my gosh, you guys! I freaking loved Making a Murderer. It was so intense, and that show is so freaking good, and it's nuts. So I'll be excited about that and to talk about that a bit more next week for sure.
Me
and
too.
Next week we should have the whole crew back together, you guys. So yeah, I think we're pretty good here. Anything else we want to close with? I know in real SVU news, we've been following the Jared Fogle of Subway situation, the child pornography stuff with that, and and he was claiming that one of his wanted to sue wanted to sue one of the parents of one of his underage victims. Because he's saying that like they put her in a bad situation, like all this stuff, which is just such, I mean, that may be true, but it doesn't, like, obviously, him saying that sort of thing makes it, it's almost like, well, it was kind of their fault too. Like, no, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's so weird, and he needs to stop that now.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have one more thing to add.
Yeah.
They actually referred, so Rick Ide. I need to figure out how to pronounce it. I was like trying to find out how to pronounce his last name. He actually he said, it's possible we will explore some of Zeitgeist political themed episode involving an iconoclastic candidate.
Oh my gosh, he has such big words that he uses.
So basically he's referring to a possible Trump-inspired episode.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I don't know
Which
how
has
that...
been very popular. I feel like there have been a lot of Trump episodes about things. Mm-hmm. But Warner and BD Wong, they would be great to bring back for sure.
Or at least somebody who can...
some sort of character in that type of role.
Psychologist for sure.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. It's been fun to chat about the premiere. And dudes, we are so excited for season 18. As always, I mean, this is like freaking, our favorite show, just like it's yours. And so we love coming here and talking about it with all of you. You guys can find us here next week, same place, same time. Be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube and also on iTunes and get the podcast and the show recaps everywhere. You guys can find me everywhere online at Lauren Salaun. That's LaurenSalaun. I mainly use Instagram, and mainly Instagram these days is the big place.
Yeah, I know. I'm not on Snapchat as much anymore.
I
I really do love the Instagram
Keep
stories.
it all in one. There we go.
Yeah. And you guys can find me at Isabel.do on Instagram and at Isabel.do, no dot, on Twitter. But to be honest, I really don't use my Twitter as much. So Instagram it is. find me on there, and so happy to be back, guys.
I know. It
Thanks for
feels
joining
good.
us.
It feels right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Everyone, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Dun, dun,
Dun.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.